Hi there, I've been working on a present for a friend. It's her birthday coming up, and she said keep it small and cheap, so that's what I tried to do. I just want to go through the process of this is something that is unique, as I wanted to make something that was, I didn't really want to build somebody else's stuff. And you just start with ideas, really. I'm sorry, I'm not the world's greatest artist. These are just sort of throwing ideas down. And what I was thinking of initially was I wanted a sort of seated figure with a book. My friend's into books.
Well, looks like we got ourselves a reader.
I just wanted to keep, wanted that theme, as I said, for the present. So I'm really into the idea of moving things, and I want to get into that a bit more. So the initial idea was to have a sort of a figure with who would sort of raise the book as they were reading, and then maybe something else happened, I don't know. But I did reject that fairly quickly because I don't have any experience of servo motors, so I didn't really want to risk it. I mean, you're on the clock. I got an actual date for this that I need to produce it by, so it's a bit risky. I did like the idea of this sort of wireframe figure. Again, I think that would have looked quite cool. Could have had something going on in the head there, but again, I kind of rejected it. Just playing it safe, really. I can play around with servos at a later stage. So I did. Then there's a little bear there, and that sort of segues into what happened next, which I started looking around on Thingiverse. Oh yeah, I was just looking on Thingiverse, really, just for ideas. It's figures with. I think I did a search on books or reading books or something like that. Anyway, I found this bear, which I thought, oh, that's quite cute, and I showed a couple other people, and they were like, oh, that's the reaction, which is, exactly what you're looking for. So there's, what am I going to do with the bear? Basically, I decided that I wanted to have a reading bear, but to show off that books can spark the imagination. That there's something a bit wonderful about books. So I wanted to show the sort of a bit of brain activity, some sort of individual neurons firing in the brain as they're reading, as this bear is reading his book. And I've got no experience in LEDs or addressable LEDs or any of that sort of thing. I'm not a programmer, but I'll give it a go in it. So I went straight to the 3D modeling stage because it's such a quick process. You just knock something up, print it out, prototype it. If it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board. You could just tweak it a little bit. So the case or the stand just holds all the electronics. You just need a battery here, battery compartment, charging board, on-off switch. Then I've got a layer on top of that, just as a divider, really, just to keep things neat. And then obviously the top of the lid of the box. Turned out, I was going to go for magnets, something a bit clever. I was going to have some magnets holding the lid on, but it turned out that it was actually a press fit. It's such a tight fit, and you've got the ridges of the 3D printing that the lid just goes on and holds itself, which is fantastic. So I'm going to take the lights through this hole into the bear using the fiber optic cable, or the plastic version of fiber optic cable, so it can be molded a little bit. So this is about as far as I've got so far. This is just the bottom of the base, and called it Bookish Bear. Used a bit of wood filler to fill in the letters and make them a bit more presentable. I've covered up the name, privacy reasons. So we've just got a battery in there. This is just the battery charger and on-off switch. So on top of this, you get which is just a divider, really. And the LEDs will go onto here, 14 of them. I've got my buck converter, which I've had to snip the ends off, which I feel a bit, well, I think it's fine. There's still plenty of surface area there, so Clipped the ends off that. I'm using a QT Py from Adafruit as the programmer, the LED driver, and then the LEDs, which are these tiny little addressable LEDs, will go onto the plinth, or I don't know what you call it, the round bit there. 14 of them joined together, and then the light taken through these fibre optic cables into the bear's head. This is a poor old bear that's had a bit of surgery, but he's just a prototype, so the lights will be taken out because I wanted pinpoints of light and not just shove the LEDs up in his head, because it would just turn into a Christmas ornament. So it has to be subtle. There's quite a bit of thought that's gone into this. Anyway, that's about as far as I got with it, and I'll show the completed version at a later stage. So there he is, bookish bear. So I've got the base here all finished, all the second layers finished. Well, the whole base is complete actually. Just put some rubber feet on there. Got the it's a bit messy, but nobody ever sees any of that. I've got some black milliput in there as to hold everything together, and obviously stop any light bleed. These are 1.5mm plastic optical cables. Just bought them from eBay. They're very cheap. It's just consumer grade plastic optical fibre, I think they call it. And then underneath that you can't obviously see them anymore, is the LEDs that I used. These Adafruit ones, 1515. I picked mine up from the Pi Hut, but you can get them from everywhere, including AliExpress. Actually, very cheap on AliExpress. You get 100 of these for $10, but I wouldn't want to solder them by hand, so it is quite handy that they're on the strips. But anyway, that's all complete now. Just needs bookish bear. Here he is, giving him a bit of a paint job, and on he goes. As I said, just press fit, which is good enough. I mean, it does hold quite rigid. It's actually here we go. So there it is. I mean, it works as a kind of just as an ornament really, and then obviously you got the brain activity effect. Well, that's what I was going for anyway. So sort of pseudo random firing of the LEDs with a colour palette, a fairly sort of mute colour palette. There's not too many colours in there. I don't want to go too crazy with it. And it's very hard to simulate thinking really, but this is kind of what I was going for. So there's something going on there. Something going on in his head. Hopefully, anyway, my friend likes it. It is at the very least unique, and he is quite cute, just sitting on the shelf. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.